Hi, I'm glitching. Hi, and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Amazon's original series, Upload. A man is able to choose his own afterlife after his untimely death. So, Greg Daniels is back again with an Amazon Studios original comedy sci-fi series.
It's only weird if you make it weird.
If you know Greg Daniels' name, you'll probably recognize it from Parks and Recreation. I was surprised by how much I really enjoyed this series. It's one of my favorites this year. There's been a lot of really great TV series content, but it's been lacking in the sci-fi comedy half an hour segment. I really liked the position they take about our not too distant future with how we use technology. I can totally see us doing this as a human species where we've taken heaven as a construct and we're able to map something like it, and we're able to use technology to take our consciousness and put it in a heaven that we choose depending on how much money you have and where you are in society. And then of course we have in-app purchases, and the comedy ensues. There is a there is a really interesting arc here with our actor Robbie Amell, who plays Nathan Brown, and so I really like what his character goes through in an arc's storyline. So it's ultimately it is about him. It's about him coming to terms with that he has met his untimely death, and it's also asked those questions that we want to know, like what is life, what is consciousness, do you actually have a soul, where do you go when you die? That is the questions that this series is asking in amongst this interesting story about this guy Nathan, who has to try and figure out why he met his untimely death and what it is like now to live in this world. They're very interesting story arc characterizations of characters that you've seen before, but they kind of embellish them a bit more. They're a bit funnier or a bit larger than life. In heaven there are interesting characters that we can create because of the fact that we are not quite our own, or we can digitally reconstruct ourselves depending on what we want our heaven to be, which is a very interesting and sometimes strange way to go. But like if your ultimate fantasy, or if you've ever wanted to be a woman, or that kind of stuff, you can digitally program, and then so the world or heaven is your oyster. And so we have a lot of comedic moments, and I think for the most part the comedy really works. I also really was invested in the characters towards the end. It took a few episodes to get there, but once the storyline started developing, I was really invested in this relationship that forms between the real world and non-real world, and how it could possibly be. It's like a Romeo and Juliet story, because this can't work, but maybe it can, and you're holding out hope for them. But then when the story develops as well, you're really invested. So by the time you get to episode 10, which comes around really quickly because the episode's only half an hour long, you are wanting more. And it's really frustrating to me now that we have to wait another year. The way it's filmed as well, it flows quite well. There is a tempo and tone that they go for in each episode. They develop the arc quite well, but there is almost a segment of what's going to happen in this story, what characters are going to do, those funny characters that you've come to really enjoy, knowing what they're going to do. And that's the quirky character, that's the strange character. You kind of look forward to what they're going to do in each episode. There's also those ones that make you like, oh, what is he up to, what is she up to? And within each episode they pack quite a lot in each one, but also develop the romance story. I think it looks good. I like the technology. There wasn't a point where I thought, oh, that looks really digital. I think it's because you have the two worlds that are crossing over that you can kind of give it some leeway, because, well, it is a digital heaven and a real world, and it's all about technology. And the fun uses of technology in this series is where I laughed a lot. There are literally laugh out moments in this series that will take you by surprise, because you won't be expecting what they're doing with the technology and what people are doing with that in their heavens, or how we use it, or what Earth looks like. It just feels like it's quite tangible and realistic in a not too distant future, which makes it relatable. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to what else they do. I really liked Robbie Robbie Arnell, but I think he works best with when you see him working against some of those other characters, the love interest, the comedic guy. When he's acting against those, you see his character come alive. I really enjoyed Robbie Arnell recently in Code 8. It's another film that's currently on Netflix, at least in the UK, and I thought that was great. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else he does. I really hope we get a second season and maybe a third season. I can see this series being played along for a long time. It's one of those that feels like there's a world to create, and as long as the writing keeps being good, which I think it is, then I think you'll really enjoy this. It's easy to get through, a very bingeable, easy series. I'm going to give this an A. I solidly enjoyed this. Upload is on Amazon now, all the episodes for you to binge to your heart's content. Let me know if you enjoyed this series. I'm looking forward to your responses. I think the technology and the comedy and the romance worked really well here. You're rooting for the character, which is why I've given it an A. Thanks so much for watching this review, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.